Okay, so if I can call up Commissioner Spiz and Commissioner Long to present proclamations to Oakland County and Miss Oakland County's Outstanding Teen. Commissioner Spiz.
Please join.
You did some pictures before.
Oh, there we go.
Am I good? It's on. Thank you. Here tonight, we're here to provide a proclamation to Miss Oakland County 2002, Layla Cipher, who resides in Oxford. Whereas their incredible potential of bright, dedicated, and driven young women and their important role in shaping the future of our county and our country cannot be overstated. And whereas Miss Oakland County 2022, Layla Cipher, is a shining example of a young woman with tremendous potential. Layla is 20 years old and is from Oxford, Michigan. She's a senior at Rochester University, where she is studying mass communication. Layla is the daughter of a veteran and current law enforcement officer, and she hopes to attend the U.S. Air Force Officer Training School after graduation to become an intelligence officer. And whereas Layla is Rochester University Student Body President, president of her sorority, Omicron Omega Zeta, did I say that right? Okay. And a member of the competitive cheerleading team. And whereas Layla's social impact initiative is Your Vote is Your Voice. Through her platform, she aims to increase her voter turnout by encouraging young adults to vote and providing them with the information they need to prepare and feel confident on Election Day. Layla is also passionate about supporting active duty military members, veterans, and law enforcement officers along with their families. She plans to use her year of service to help families of wounded soldiers and law enforcement officers to make sure they are supported by their community. And whereas we proudly join with Layla's family and friends to recognize her many accomplishments and to honor her for possessing the talent, intelligence, and character to win the title crown of Miss Oakland County 2022. Now, therefore, David T. Wordman, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with myself and the entire Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim special commendation to Layla Cipher. We wish her the best of luck as she represents Oakland County in the Miss Michigan competition in 2023. Congratulations. So with that, I will give you a few moments to make some comments. Take as long as you wish, as long as it's not an hour.
Well, thank you for having me here today. As Commissioner Spiz said, my social impact initiative is Your Vote is Your Voice. And something that I've realized over the last couple of years as I've been looking at these statistics of voter turnout, especially in Oakland County, is that the young adults ages 18 to 29 are not showing up to the polls. And I think that that's something that we need to change. And I am here to use my voice and use my title to encourage all the young adults in our county to use their voice and make an impact on their community. And the best way to do that is through voting. So as we come up on another midterm election, I'm hoping to raise our voter turnout across the board, but especially in that youngest age group. So I can't wait to be working with the rest of you and working alongside Oakland County. So hopefully we'll make some great changes over the next year.
Great.
You want a picture of them first? You want a picture of them first? Okay, so I have today lovely Alexis Ulmer. Did I say it right? She is Miss County's Outstanding Teen 2022. Whereas the incredible potential of bright, dedicated, and driven young women and their important role in shaping the future of our county and our country cannot be overstated, and whereas Miss Oakland County's Outstanding Teen 2022 Alexis is a shining example of a young woman with tremendous potential. Alexis is a 17-year-old and is from Commerce, Michigan. Hey. She is high school senior in, how do you say that, your Clonara School's off-campus education program to accommodate her busy schedule, and she previously attended Walled Lake Central High School. After graduation, Alexis plans to dance professionally before attending college to study civil and environmental engineering. And whereas Alexis has been dancing at Dance Dynamics Performing Arts Center in Walled Lake since she was 2 years old, She has also participated in National Honor Society, Student Council, Environmentalist Clubs, Volunteering Club, Honor Guard, National Honor Society for Dance, Arts, and more. Whereas Alexa's social impact initiative is hashtag food freedom, preventing eating disorders in today's teens. Through her platform, she combats the sources of many teens' negative body perceptions, social media, by transforming them into a positive environment that gives suffering teens the resources they need to live their fullest lives. And whereas we proudly join with Alexa's family and friends to recognize her many accomplishments and to honor her for possessing the talent, intelligence, and character to win the title of crown of Miss Oakland County's Outstanding Teen 2022. And then it is signed by Chairman Woodward and myself, Christine Long, and all the Board of Commissioners. And congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me here today. And one of the biggest things I've learned from being Miss Oakland County's Outstanding Teen for only a few weeks now is just how much reach this program has and how many people I've been able to meet already and people my own age that I'm already starting to help. And I'm very excited to see what the rest of this year will hold. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll flip it. You stay on that side. We'll come on this side.
Thank you.
Just real quick, I don't want to be a downer of the presentation here, but it just reminds me, I just want us to say prayers for the girl that's missing in Commerce. It's really been upsetting me for 2 weeks, and there's no clues about where she is. So I just wanted to bring her in and have you guys say prayers for her.
Thank you. Great. And Layla and Alexis, I think you are incredible leaders for your generation. Looking forward to seeing all the wonderful things you're both going to do as you, carry your message across the county and the state. Another round of applause for Miss Oakland County and Miss Oakland County Outstanding Teen. Next up, I'm going to call on Commissioners Spiz and Powell with the special proclamation.
Good evening, everyone. Today we have the opportunity of honoring a student by the name of, well, she's a young adult now, but her name is Zoe Toure, and Zoe Toure resides in my district, Pontiac, but she attended Oxford High School. And we're going to tell you a little about her story right now. And Commissioner Spiz, we're doing a co-presentation today. So I'll have you start.
Please come up. Thank you. Somebody's in trouble.
Thank you. She corrected me. Sorry. Okay.
All right, thank you. We're here to provide a proclamation to Zoe Toure. Whereas on November 30th, 2021, a student at Oxford High School in Oxford, Michigan shot and killed 4 classmates. Hannah St. Juliana, Tate Meir, Madison Baldwin, and Justin Schilling. The incident left 6 more students and a teacher injured. Sorry, I get chills every time I go through that. Whereas Zoe Toure, a Pontiac native, was a senior at Oxford High School at the time of the shooting. She and her fellow classmates survived by jumping through a window to safety. Zoe's emotional recovery since that day has not been easy. Advocacy has proven an important outlet for channeling and coping with her trauma. Zoe believes that gun reform and increased mental health resources in schools can help prevent tragedy like this one at Oxford. And
whereas on February 23rd, Zoe spoke at Lobby for Our Lives rally at the Michigan State Capitol in Lansing. On June 11th, sorry, I have to hold this. On June 11th, she attended the March for Our Lives rally in Washington, D.C., where she was invited to speak at a Moms Demand Action event. The March for Our Lives movement, launched in 2018 by survivors of the majority Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida, has helped young survivors like Zoe channel their trauma into positive action. And whereas this spring, Zoe will enter her freshman year at North Carolina A&T State University, where she plans on studying anthropology. She will continue advocating for legislation to stop gun violence in schools. And whereas we join with Zoe's family, friends, and former classmates to recognize her for her tremendous strength and courage. We applaud her for sharing her difficult story with the world and for her tireless determination to make it a safer place for all of us. Now, therefore, David T. Woodward, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with Commissioners Angela Powell and Michael Spitz, as well as the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim special commendation to Zoe Toure. We wish her success as she begins the next chapter in her life and hope that she finds peace in her path towards healing. And now she wanted to say a few words.
So they pretty much explained it pretty well, but for those of you that don't know, I'm Zoe Toure. I'm 18 years old and a survivor of the Oxford High School shooting. I want to thank Commissioner Powell and the Board of Commissioners for recognizing me for my recent work in the gun violence prevention space. In November of 2021, I was a completely different person, enveloped in grief after the tragedy at my school. These past 9 months have turned my life around for the better. So I want to thank my parents for pushing me to take the leap. It's given me the opportunity to heal while being able to speak up for my friends and classmates who aren't able to speak for themselves. Speak up for Justin, for Tate, Hannah, and Madison. I'm here on behalf of my Oxford community as well. I love you all, and you give me the strength to keep fighting for us. Our schoolmates were used as target practice. As we ran down the hallways tucked inside classrooms for cover and quivered in fear as we struggled for a plan to reach safety, the gunman's bullets annihilated the hopes, dreams, and promises of 4 of my classmates. There were 4 high school peers who should be enjoying baby and dirt concerts, summer carnivals, and grad parties. We are suffocating under an epidemic of untreated mental health, too. Victims of school-based gun violence should not have to figure out on our own how to cope with trauma and loss and fear. We should not have to be fighting this fight in the first place. School shootings have created new anxieties for generations of students, especially younger ones. Before going off to North Carolina A&T in January, I have committed to working with the March for Our Lives movement to continue this work. I promise to do my best to make sure these senseless acts come to a full stop. Why? Because children deserve to feel safe. Thank you.
So thanks to everyone. We're going to take a picture with her, and then I will ask for her family to come up too. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners Thank you, Zoe, for your leadership. I will call now on the clerk to read additional communications.
Mr. Chair, there are 4 communications. The first dated August 24th, 2022. Dear Chairman Woodward, pursuant to Public Act 49 of 2008, Memorial Miscellaneous Resolution 08090, I am pleased to appoint Ms. Jennifer M. Greco and Ms. Elizabeth Howe as my representatives and Ms. Gretchen Parks as alternate to Ms. Greco and Mr. Richard Strenger as alternate to Ms. Howe on the Oakland County Zoological Authority Board. These appointments are effective immediately and shall continue until May 1st, 2024, or until a successor is appointed and qualified. Appointees shall take and subscribe to the required oath of office prior to commencing the performance of their duties pursuant to these appointments. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, David Coulter, Oakland County Executive. Second, dated August 30th, 2022. Dear Chairman Woodward, I am pleased to appoint Ms. Danis Mitchell to serve as my designee to the Land Bank Authority. Ms. Mitchell shall take and subscribe to the required oath of office prior to commencing the performance of her duties pursuant to this appointment. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, David Coulter, Oakland County Executive. Third, dated September 1st, 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, please accept this letter as notification of the appointments to the Special Committee to Study Road Commission Operations. The Special Committee will be organized under the provisions of the Board rules. The members of the committee will be Commissioners David Woodward, Chair, William Miller, and Michael Spiz. Pursuant to Miscellaneous Resolution 22187, the charge of the Special Committee is to evaluate the option provided under the Michigan Public Act 2 of 2020 and other applicable laws, and will provide a report and presentation to the Economic Development and Infrastructure Committee as potential avenues to pursue. Sincerely, David T. Woodward, Chairman, Oakland County Board of Commissioners. And finally, dated September 1st, 2022, to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, please accept this letter as notification that I have exercised the authority granted to the chairperson of the board to approve grant applications in excess of $50,000 for the purposes of meeting a submission deadline. Due to the grantor deadlines and the board's grant submission process and calendar, it is not possible to submit the application for full board consideration in accordance with our normal procedures. I have authorized the submission of the following grant applications. First, fiscal year 2022 anti-terrorism emergency assistance for the prosecuting attorney in the amount of $175,000. The grant application deadline was July 22nd, 2022. And fiscal year 2023 secondary road patrol grant to the Sheriff's Office in the amount of $524,458. The grant application deadline was September 1st, 2022. Sincerely, David T. Woodward, Chairman, Oakland County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Movement to receive and file the communications, moved by Cavell, seconded by Gary McGilvery. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that the communications are received unanimously. That will move us to the first public comment of tonight's meeting. This is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any item on the regular agenda, the consent agenda, or the regular agenda as approved at the top of the meeting. I don't think anyone signed in for public comment, but if you wanted to address public comment, please come up to the microphone, state your name, and please keep your comments limited to 3 minutes. And this is for the public comment on items on the agenda.
Tasha Shergan from Clarkston. How are you guys?
Welcome.
Regarding the gun buyback program, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Commissioner Miller, you mentioned this earlier in the Dem Caucus because it's anonymous. So I don't know. I guess if you have a gun, I would assume you'd want to go to like a gun shop and get a fair market value for it instead of going to the sheriff's department on the gun buyback day. But if you're a criminal and you want to get rid of a gun and this program's going on anonymously, it sounds like a great idea. It just doesn't make sense to me. I understand you made it really clear, Commissioner Christensen, that it was, it was not a required program and you support the Second Amendment. But the thing is the people that are like, the people that have respect for their guns and use them in an appropriate manner are not the people we have to be worried about. It's the people that don't care about the process. They don't care about the system. They're not going and registering their gun, right? They don't care about, look at what happened in Oxford. It wasn't registered to that young man. So I get it, it was his parents. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? Because the rightful law-abiding citizens that carry guns are not the ones we have to be concerned about. In fact, those are the citizens that make our counties, cities, townships more safe, because they're essentially an extension of the police force that are there to protect. They honor and protect our citizens. They have respect for guns. So I just don't understand the concept of the gun buyback program, and I get it's not a requirement. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem right. So my question to you is, do you think the law-abiding citizens are really the ones that are going to be doing this? That's just my question to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else like to speak during public comment? Seeing none, I will close the first public comment, and I will bring us back to this side. And first up, we have the consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda? Moved by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Powell. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, can you please prompt the vote?
Mr. Chair, you have 18 yeas, 0 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The consent agenda is adopted. That'll move us to the regular agenda. And first up, I will call on the Chair of the Economic Development and Infrastructure Committee, Commissioner William Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I bring you the Appropriation of American Rescue Plan Act, local fiscal recovery funds for Project Diamond Distribution Independent, and manufacturing on demand phase number 2.
Moved by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Lubes. I believe we have an amendment.
Yes.
I will call on Commissioner Charles.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to add an amendment to the, that would make it the new 4th, be it further resolved that the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners shall appoint 2 commissioners to work with Oakland County Economic Development and review application development, grant awards, and oversight program. That is my amendment.
And this would be consistent with our involvement in overseeing a lot of other ARPA dollars, and fully support it. So moved by Commissioner Charles, seconded by Commissioner Miller. Charles, William. Yeah. You got it. All in favor of that amendment? All right. Discussion.
Question, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, you may.
Question is, since we're only appointing 2, will it be 1 from each party?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you my word. Yes. Any further discussion? Can we just voice vote this one? All in favor of adopting the amendment, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect the amendments adopt unanimously. That brings us back to the main motion. Any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Mr. Chair, you have 17 yeas, 1 nay.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. I will next call on the Finance Committee, and I will call on Vice Chair Commissioner Cavell to present the next item.
Good evening, Chair. I have one item appropriating funding for the Anti-Violence Initiative to create the Oakland County Gun Buyback Program.
Moved by Commissioner Cavell, seconded by Commissioner McGilvery. Any discussion? Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am on the fence on this, but I will say that in light of our current story that we have up here, my vote's going to be yes for Zoe.
Yep. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Mr. Chair, you have 14 yeas, 4 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. Commissioner Cavell.
That is all I have from finance.
Thank you very much. I don't believe there's any items under Legislative Affairs and Government Operations, and so next up I'll call on Commissioner Penny Lubes for Public Health and Safety Committee.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to present a resolution appropriating American Rescue Plan Act local fiscal recovery funds to support Oakland Together senior initiatives.
Moved by Commissioner Lubes, seconded by Commissioner Nelson, and I believe there's an amendment. Commissioner Gershenson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have an amendment to be under the almost the last or the first. Be it further resolved that an amount not to exceed $2 million of the $5 million appropriated for Oakland County Senior Centers shall be prioritized in the qualified census tract communities that were disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Moved by Commissioner Gershenson, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. Any discussion? Commissioner Long.
Yes. Commissioner Gershenson, how much is that adding 2 more million? So what's the total amount? I can't pull my thing up on the screen that it will be for this program.
For this specific program, which includes,
I don't have it.
The amendment increases the $3 million that was set for senior centers to $5 million.
Okay.
That's what the
right,
amendment.
but that is specifically for capital, technology, infrastructure, equipment improvements, and professional development.
The 2 millions for that? Thank you. Mine didn't come up on here. It says nothing. You
It's
know,
in
when I-
addition
Oh, I
to
probably
the 3.
have to refresh maybe or something. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Right. Thank you. Commissioner Spiz.
Mr. Chair, based on this last change, I'd like to make a motion to set this aside till the next meeting, if I may.
I can't
Moved
hear
by
you.
Commissioner Spiz to postpone.
Postpone.
Seconded by Commissioner Moss. Any discussion on postponement?
I just believe we need a little bit more time to review this in more detail based on the additional $2 million ask at this time. And I don't believe it's time sensitive.
Commissioner Cavell,
I can defer to you, Kristen.
Go ahead.
followed by Nelson.
Okay, just because you're talking about timing, November 15th, 2021, the Healthy Aging Ad Hoc Committee came out with its blueprint for senior aging after months, almost a year of work. So starting in January 2021, these conversations have been ongoing. The need is there. We see it in our community. I believe Commissioner Nelson can speak more to this, but there's over 30 community centers that focus on seniors in our 62 CVTs. We know the need is there anecdotally, qualitatively, and as proven and borne out by the senior blueprint for aging quantitatively. So we know there's a problem. We know we can fix it. Now's the time.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Nelson. Commissioner
Thank you,
Nelson.
Chairman. Just kind of to piggyback off of some of the things that Commissioner Cavell had said, this has been almost a 2-year process, a thorough process that literally is at the result of multiple meetings with multiple different stakeholders at multiple different levels of local government, all the way down to county commissioners, our administration, and other organizations. The addition of the $2 million to the senior center grant initiative really at the end of the day is at the result of, we recognize that all of our community centers throughout Oakland County have different and diverse needs. And so with the addition of the $2 million to the $3 million that was initially discussed and in the resolution, will really provide a transformational difference to a lot of our community centers across Oakland County. And if there's one thing that all of us, I think, can agree on, is that when we talk about the American Rescue Plan dollars, one of the things that we all bear in mind is the concept of transformational difference. And so with the addition of this $2 million to the $3 million Senior Center Grant Initiative, it allows senior centers who have been disproportionately disadvantaged, whether it's after COVID, before COVID, and moving forward. We want to make a difference for community and senior centers across Oakland County. And I do wholeheartedly believe, after 2 years of being an active member along my fellow colleagues on both sides of the aisle, that this is a great idea and it's a great investment for our seniors across Oakland County. So I do support.
Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. You support the resolution and oppose postponement. And I concur with you. I think we can take up this item now. I think improving services for seniors is important. So I will be voting no on postponement. Commissioner Spiz for a second time on the motion to postpone.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I don't think anybody in this room is against the original motion. It passed unanimously in committee and was going to be on the consent agenda. The issue is with the $2 million ask, which is almost doubling it. We all understand there's a need. We're all understanding what's driving it. But why at the 11th hour are we looking to add $2 million all of a sudden when we went through the entire committee process and now you're going to add $2 million today? I mean, that's the only reason I want to postpone it. If it was the original 3, it would have went through without probably any question. It's just a $2 million ask. The only reason I asked for postponement. So with that, I'll be voting no against the amendment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's call the roll on postponement. Or not call the roll, I'm sorry. Can you just prompt the vote on postponement?
You got it.
I mean, we're not the amendment. On postponement.
Okay, thank you.
Postponing.
On postponing.
We don't like that.
The amendment.
Postponing the amendment would postpone the whole thing.
You're voting either to support postponement.
To postpone.
So, Mr. Chair, just for point of clarification, I know that it is listed as the Gershenson Amendment 1, but just to clarify.
This is on postponement. This is on postponement.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, on the motion to postpone, there are 8 yeas, 10 nays.
An insufficient number voting in the affirmative, the motion to postpone fails. That brings us back to the original amendment. Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I just kind of said, this resolution is the result of almost a 2-year process of collaboration amongst commissioners, county administration, local leaders, and many other community stakeholders and organizations. The Oakland Together Senior Initiatives resolution is a historic step in the right direction in meeting the needs of a rapidly growing senior population and those who care for them here in Oakland County.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Long.
Thank you, Chairman Woodward. I just want to reiterate what I said in finance. I'm a little worried about the adult or the senior abuse. So I see we earmarked 5,000, but I really think that we need to do more than that in the future. And as I stated in finance, I worked in a nursing home back in 1980s, and it was absolutely terrible. And so that's it, where these people are paying. And I mean, you just can't get that out of your mind. So I just want to make sure maybe in the future that we add more to it or whatever we can do, because I think COVID, if someone was getting home care from their family, the abuse could have happened there too, because everyone was stressed. So I think it's probably a higher abuse rate now than back then. So I'm just a little concerned. So I want to keep us to keep an eye on it. Commissioner Nelson, maybe fund some money or do something about that. So thank you.
I think it's a great idea. I'm going to keep a conversation to the amendment, and then we can go back to other things, but that's okay.
Okay, well, it was
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Then we come to the main motion. Okay, no further discussion on the amendment. Let's prompt the vote on the amendment, on the Gershenson amendment.
Okay, it says postpone.
I have a Gershenson amendment.
Let me cancel this vote and redo it
okay.
again, Mr. Chair.
Just hold a
Thanks for your
second.
patience.
Now it says, vote for the current item, Gershenson Amendment Number 1.
Mine still says motion to postpone.
It's not, no, mine's good.
Well, maybe I'll,
Yep,
yeah,
refresh.
yeah, okay.
Yep, if you refresh, it should come up correctly.
There you go. Okay.
We are voting on the amendment. Yeah. Yes, vote yes on, no. Vote on the amendment. We are
Yes, we're voting on the amendment.
on the amendment, not on postponement, on the amendment itself.
Refresh, if yours still
you-
says postpone, refresh.
On the question of the amendment, there are 16 yeas and 2 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the amendment is adopted. That brings us back to the main motion. Any discussion on the main motion? Commissioner Gershenson.
I'll just say that in caucus, I alerted my caucus that there may be more money necessary for the elder abuse piece of it.
Thank you.
Great. I think there's broad support for that,
I
yes.
guess if I may, since we just amended it to add $2 million, you're telling me we can't pull an extra $45,000 out of that $2 million to put it towards elderly abuse? It makes no sense to me. So $2 million is a hard fixed number that we can't find a few more dollars to help with elderly abuse. I mean, I 100% support Commissioner Long's request. Why wait till later? Let's do it now. We're doing everything else now. Why not just do that?
Okay, well, there's a couple reasons. One, that this is not a county public entity. The elder abuse is a non-public entity that is being reconstituted. So if it would be, I would say it's a little bit different story if it was an arm of county government. This is a separate entity that we will obviously be working in collaboration with. And I believe that this board would be very supportive of dollars to be allocated to address elder abuse issues across Oakland County. I don't think we have that request or proposal, and I think we should wait for it.
Also,
Commissioner Gershenson, and then Commissioner
thank you.
Cavell.
I wanted to add that this committee has not formally met, and so the 5,000, I'm confident we'll see them through 2022, but we don't have an agenda from them. They're just organizing, so I think it's premature to add more money to it until we have a really good idea of where they're going.
Commissioner Cavell.
Oh, just wanted to say, I hear where you're coming from. I totally agree with you, and I was alarmed when I saw $5,000 also. But when talking to AAA1B and others that were involved in making this, that's what the request was. So if we give them too much money, they won't know what to do with it. They asked for this. And we all want to come back to it and give them more when they need it. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to highlight, again, I don't disagree with anything that was just said. I just want to redirect everyone back to the whole purpose of the $5,000, and really that is to help reinstate and help offset the costs of administration costs to reinstate. So it is going to be expected that once this gets established and it's reinstated, that we're going to hear a lot more about the needs of this coalition for sure. But for the sake of this resolution, this $5,000 is to help get this off the ground and wait for when they do meet to hear more about the things that they would like to do, and also to take a look at how much does it cost to do the things that they want to do. But I don't think those things have been necessarily identified yet.
Commissioner Weipert.
We've done seed money, this exact amount, 5,000, lots of times, so that's perfect amount, so.
Great. Agreed. Commissioner Long.
Oh, I would just ask kindly to Commissioner Nelson, whenever, if you're going to meet with the group, that I get a notice so I can come. I have a lot of, unfortunately, I saw a lot of abuse and have a good insight to, maybe what can happen different. So, thank you.
If I may, Chairman, I know that Commissioner Gershenson
Nelson.
shared earlier this evening that they plan on meeting on September 20th at 12 p.m. here at the board.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote on the resolution.
This week gets me, I messed up.
No, to support the resolution as a whole initiative.
It's like the invocation and stuff. I always gotta take a turn.
You could just vote by. No, you have to say it loudly. Yeah, thank you. Commissioner Cavell votes yes.
On passage of the resolution, there are 18 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voted in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Commissioner Lubes.
There's no further business from the Public Health and Safety Committee, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Bring us to reports of special committees, none. Special order business, none. Unfinished business, none. That brings us to new and miscellaneous business, and I believe Commissioner Spiz, do you have a resolution?
I'll do it from
You
here,
can do it
if
from
that's
there. You can do it from right there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to introduce a resolution supporting Michigan legislation reform to advocate for sensible safe storage measures and reinforce the rights of responsible gun owners. Refer to Lago.
And we're referred to Lago without objection. Any other resolutions for introduction? I think that was the only one. Seeing none, that will bring us to our next. Are there any announcements? Seeing none, that'll bring us to our. Commissioner Spitz.
Just one announcement, just a reminder, since it'll be before our next meeting, September 11th, which is on a Sunday, there's a service that's at our memorial up the street, so if you can make it, please do. Thank you.
Excellent.
One more, Chairman.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. So Monday, 11 to 1, 1550 Howard Street, Detroit, Michigan. Operating engineers are having a Labor Day picnic if anybody wants to come out. The parade was canceled, but we're still having our picnic.
Where is it?
It's our day.
Where is it?
Detroit, 1550 Howard Street.
1550 Howard Street. Come out for a Labor Day celebration.
Yes.
Fantastic. This will bring us to our second public comment. This is the opportunity for any member of the public to speak on any issue on or off the agenda. If you are interested in speaking, please come up to the microphone. I don't think anyone actually signed up, or at least I don't have someone signed up. So if there's anyone who wants to speak during the second public comment, please come to the microphone at the back of the, or I guess maybe the middle portion of the auditorium. Again, just like for the record, just state your name and community of residence. And that's right. You don't have to. That's okay. I mean, we'll write it down.
I'm so popular, everybody knows me, right? Tasha Shergan, Clarkston. I have here, this represents thousands of Oakland County citizens, and these are expectations, including, I heard that, including, number one, create executive committee and stop handling all county business in unrecorded Democratic caucuses or ad hoc committees, or spinning out important discussions into a study group to get around having to deal with the public in violation of the Open Meetings Act. Number two, require all budget review hearings to have actual budget data available with data connected to enable an actual budget review. August 9th, 22, for the first budget review hearing, the packet was downloaded on 8/8 at 5 p.m. It had 25 pages. But on 8/9 at 8:15, when we downloaded the same packet, there were 98 pages. This is just hours before that finance meeting. Last year, there was no data linked to the August 11th budget hearing, and on August 24th, the day before the originally scheduled final budget review hearing on August 25th, the entire system changed. Number three, stop subcontracting all grant administration. United Way and other nonprofits are not doing a good job for county taxpayers and appear to be redirecting funds to benefit those outside Oakland County in violation to their fiduciary duty to administer the taxpayers' money effectively and for the benefit of 100% of county citizens, not just those that in your partisan corner. Number four, agenda deadline. Citizens and all Board of Commissioner members deserve to have 14 days before a meeting to review the subject matter of the meeting, as is typically standard and proved by the fact that even the newly implemented civic clerk system prints the agenda deadline automatically by default 14 days prior to the date of the meeting. All agenda documents need to be attached without modification after the agenda deadline as part of the meeting packet to ensure ability to make informed decisions. Number five, revision tracking on all documents. It's not okay that documents are changing from one meeting to the next or policy changes are made without clear markups to show what was changed for the record. Number 6, packet for all meetings. These need to be completed before the meeting and have the agenda deadline. Entire programs should never be added verbally. For an example, June 23rd, 22, the full board packet was 1,437 pages before the meeting, but became 1,513 pages after the meeting. 7, Oakland County Board administrators and all levels of staff need to be working for the taxpayers of Oakland County, not other counties or countries. Procurements need to prioritize Oakland County businesses. No taxpayer money should be provided to any foreign entity, corporation, or individual. Number 9, no digital procurement should involve foreign entities, governments, agencies, or foreign corporations. Why is the internet contract proposal funding foreign corporations? 10, citizens do not approve of you making them hackable.
Please
The
wrap up your
citizens did not
comment.
consent. Okay, I've got 2 more. I'll let somebody else finish that up.
Thank you.
Catherine Kennedy, I'll wrap up what Tasha started from Lake Orion. Number 10, citizens did not approve of you making them hackable. The citizens did not consent to you taking their private identity, voting, real estate, or any other records to be placed in any type of digital system or private data converted to a QR code. QR codes need to be banned immediately for use on people. Denso Wave, a foreign corporation, got the patent in 1994 since this invention was designed for inventory management with specific tracking and data capture functions. This should never be used for people, and our government has no right to share our private data with unknown third parties to make us globally hackable and place our security at risk, the opposite of their duty to defend the citizens of the Constitution of the United States. Next topic, land bank authorities. Absolute shame. You are trying to say you're making housing affordable. You're doing the opposite. Inflation, I heard the Federal Reserve Chairman saying, oh yeah, there'll be a lot of pain, but we will raise rates as high as necessary until we get inflation down to the 2% target. Guys, January 21, inflation was 1.4%. All he had to do was do nothing, and he'd have looked like a genius. So I am tired of all this wasteful spending, which has created the inflation that's causing everyone to have problems buying groceries, insurance costs skyrocketing, property taxes skyrocketing, and you guys just keep adding more and more, assuming that that can be funded. The malarkey math, too, on the transit, they say, oh yeah, we're going to save you 0.5 mils, but what you might not realize, in May 12th of 2022, the assessments went up 6.46% on all the millages. So they're way ahead of that, and it's really not a savings at all. You continue to use something that does not function well, is inefficient, wasteful, and is adding to the problem. It's not a solution when you just throw money down the black pit when there is no solution. You have to have a plan first. You don't throw the money in and then try to figure out what you're going to do with it. That's how the country has been operating lately. They're a bunch of fools. They don't comprehend how to operate an economy. The Inflation Reduction Act is the opposite. It's opposite day in America again. The only possible scenario you can get when you're spending all this extra money is inflation goes up. That means the people suffer more and more, and the people at the bottom, the least that can afford it, suffer the most. They have the worst impact. They have a hard time getting food on the table. And this is shameful because all this is being done for political gain and bringing people that do not belong here into our country to take advantage of our citizens. It's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that'd like to speak during public comment? Seeing none, we'll declare public comment closed. And we will stay adjourned until our next meeting, which didn't get printed off on my, I think it's, September 29th, 2002, or I call the chair. Thank you, everyone.